Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to the channel. And if it's your first time tuning in, welcome to All Things Delicious. Today on Brave Belly, I'll be showing you guys my favorite Chinese food. That's right, I'm doing a part 2 just because I want to share some stories with you guys about my childhood favorite food, or at least the food that I grew up eating most when I ate outside the home. So there you have it. Today, Chinese takeout. Let's get right into it. So first things first, this bag right here, this shopping bag, thank you, gracias, you know, have a nice day, que tenga un buen día, you know, right away, that's, for me, that's like a hallmark, or the food might actually be good. It starts with these shopping bags. As funny as it is, it's probably just really nostalgic. And, you know, I like these mass marketed, you know, like generic shopping bags. I think they're pretty cool. I'm just gonna get right into it, guys. So first things first, I got Snapple Peach iced tea. I feel like iced tea is the thing to eat with Chinese takeout. It's absolutely delicious. I'm not used to these. I haven't had Snapple in such a long time. The last time I had Snapple was when they actually came in the glass bottles. You know, the ones that you go like this, and then when you pop, it's that with the little fun facts on them or whatever. Well, it's been a minute, but you know what? I still had to do the peach tea. Also, the brisk Snapple, or not Snapple, I'm sorry. What is it? Well, whatever, the brisk tea. I don't know who makes it, but that's also a delicious tea. So it's either of these two, my personal favorite. So I'm just gonna pour it right up. These bottles do look small, so that's why I got two. But oh yeah, that classic flavor is still there. All right, so nice and stapled on top, so you know they're taking care of the details. The name of this place is China King, and on the marquee before you walk in it says China King, New York style. So that definitely piqued my interest. We'll see if this is actually New York style, because like I said, I grew up eating Chinese food in New York City, and one, it was cheap, and two, it was actually very delicious. So that was the biggest reason. Okay, so what do we have? We got some packets of mustard. We got 2 fortune cookies. I'll be tasting those, because I haven't had fortune cookies in a long time. Duck sauce. First off the bat, I already noticed here in Florida, I don't know if it's up north as well, but like the duck sauces look somewhat more watered down and like less orangey. They're like a duller color than they were than I actually remember. So who knows if things have changed or if that's just me. And of course we have these crisps, these traditional crisps. Look at that, White Plains, New York, baby. Oh yeah, these are gonna taste good. I could already tell. You know, the ones that you throw in with your soup, or when you actually sit down in a restaurant, in the Chinese food restaurant, they give you these in a bowl. With duck sauce. That's how you start, you know, getting your appetite ready. I got an egg roll. Good old egg roll. Ooh, look at this. I have egg drop wonton soup. The best of both worlds. You get your wontons and that thick egg drop. Oh yeah. Then I got some kind of dipping sauce. Wait till you see what I got. Wow, they gave me more. They gave me more fortune cookies. Alright, so the star of the show is, boom. This is the classic that I love. This is sesame chicken. I substitute this sometimes with General Tso's chicken, which is a little more spicy. The only difference is the General Tso's apparently is a little more spicier, and I think they use a mix of dark meat and chicken breast, whereas sesame is apparently just dark meat. and it's not spicy. So it's basically interchangeable. I just was in the mood for sesame. Usually as a child, though, I grew up on General Tso's. I think that's why I wanted something slightly different. Of course, I got tons and tons of packets. And what else do I have here? I already forgot what I have. I'm excited. Ooh, yeah. Look at that, a little crab rangoon. I got shrimp toast crab rangoon. What is this? Maybe like a Chinese, no, smells like fishy. I don't know what this is. But all in all, what this is called is the poo-poo platter. I had to get that. Mainly because, to me, when I was growing up, this was like one of the most expensive things on the menu. And we only got this maybe like 3 times. Literally in my entire life. Because this was considered the no-go zone, you know. It was like $20. Or, you know, close to it. So, we didn't eat this one that often. And then what else do we have? Oh wow, there's a whole nother. More sauces. What do we have here? Oh yeah, more of that poo-poo platter. We got the fried chicken. I always loved the fried chicken from Chinese food places. We have teriyaki chicken, and we have 2 of the pork ribs. So I'm looking forward to that. All the goodies that were off limits when I was a kid because they were too expensive, I got them now. So, and I don't regret it. I don't feel bad about that because at least now I get to enjoy it. And it's, you know, something a little more, I wouldn't say exotic, but just like, well, yeah, I didn't have it as a kid, but now I get to enjoy it. So I'll be all right, you know? All right, so what are we going to start with? I think let's just start with the poo-poo platter. All right, that poo-poo. Always, the name is so appealing, huh? All right, let's check this out. Good old fried chicken. I just have a clear, vivid image of, you know, them frying half a chicken and just cleavering it, hitting all the joints perfectly with that cleaver. Cutting it up and throwing in this little, you know, this like parchment type paper or wax paper or whatever. Classic. So yeah. Wow. This is like their sweet and sour sauce, I think. I'm going to crack it open, but I was never really into that per se. Wow, that's good already. I'm so happy I got Chinese food. Alright, so I'm gonna do the old school, these little crackers. I forgot what these are called. With that duck sauce on the lid, of course. So simple yet so good. So, let me get into that story. So, when I was a little boy, if we ever went out to a restaurant, it was like, literally I only remember going to like 2 places. It was either Chinese food or this kind of like place. It was almost like an Applebee's or a Chili's, but it was called Beefsteak Charlie's. I don't know if you guys ever heard of that place. If you did, comment in the section. That's some nostalgia. There's only like a few of those locations in New York, and there was one where we'd go to with my family, and part of the reason because it was cheap. There's like some nights where there's like all you can eat cocktail shrimp, so my parents would go for that, or they would usually just pay for the buffet, and we just eat that. It was cheap and you could eat plenty. So yeah, it was that or Chinese food. In Chinese food, there was a spot by our house called Musician. Like fancy, but it was regular like takeout, but they also had dine-in. The dine-in part actually had like tablecloth on the tables. And so we'd go there maybe twice a year. It was a big deal in our house because I grew up in a blue-collar house, hardworking home. So the money came slow. You had to work hard for it. So it was a big deal just to spend it on eating. If you could, eat just as good in the house. So that's how I grew up. I think that's why I appreciate food so much, because now I'm a little more carefree as an adult. I get to eat what I want. And yeah, so it's like brand new to me, if you know what I mean. All right, crab rangoon. No, I'm way off. Fried wonton. What am I talking about? That's a fried wonton. Oh yeah, definitely needs duck sauce. Fried wontons. We used to get like, I think 4 for like $3 or something like that. That was a whole thing we used to order. Either fried wontons or French fries. All from the Chinese place. So it wasn't only like going out to eat Chinese food, but takeout was huge in grade school, like 7th and 8th grade. Once you were able to go home for lunch, I think it was 7th grade, everybody would be going to a Chinese spot. Oh yeah, this fried shrimp. Let's see what this sauce is about. Oh yeah, it's delicious. It's like that sweet and sour. Real good. Now I do have a lot of food here, so I'm just gonna have one each of the poo-poo platter because it comes in pairs. And that good old Snapple. I'm sure they probably changed the formula since I was a kid growing up. Excuse me. Boom, that egg roll. Egg rolls are always bomb. Now, so far, can I say, is there anything different about this food and the one that I remember in New York? Not really. So far, similar enough. Now, I wonder what they mean by New York style. Like, what makes New York style Chinese food takeout? Is it just, are they telling you it's not authentic Chinese food, that it's, the Americanized version, like a Tex-Mex, for instance? I doubt it. I mean, it's no other Chinese place, has a sign that says, oh, New York style. You just know it's Chinese takeout, it's its own thing, so who knows? Shrimp toast. I don't recall this being in poo-poo platter in New York. And also, this battered fried shrimp, it's 2 pieces of shrimp that's like this, is definitely there. This is the first time I've seen it. Usually it's like that typical butterflied shrimp that's, in that batter where it's like, it's almost like fried chicken. This is the first time I'm trying this. And it's actually doggone good. It's actually very good, especially with this sweet sauce. I didn't think I'd be such a huge fan of this. This actually just tastes like a denser duck sauce. I like it a lot. Now let's see these ribs. Okay. Oh, the spare rib tips. That was a classic. My go-to meals were the General Tso's chicken, sesame chicken. I would interchange that. Then it would be, what else would I get? That's definitely was a hit. Was like fried wontons, a egg roll, spare rib tips with white rice. And that crunch right there, that's the cartilage I've never been squeamish about. So yeah, more of the Chinese food stuff. So another time where Chinese food was really nostalgic and where we ate it very often is like snowy winter days in New York City. Like you would spend, let's say it's like a snow day from school, right? So of course you want to go outside and, you know, play in the snow and build igloos and whatever, have snowball fights well, first things first, you got to shovel your property, because in New York City, wherever you lived, you would have like the stoop in most cases, and you would have to shovel that to get all the ice and snow off your stoop so it's safe to walk outside out into the street. So you make sure to shovel that, and a lot of the neighborhood kids would just go door to door to neighbors' houses to, you know, to try to make some money shoveling snow. So you would spend, you know, a few hours shoveling. So after that, you work up a good appetite, and you would go to your Chinese food. Ooh, it hits so right on a snowy day. Come back to the house, all warm and cozy, you know. Take off all your wet gear and bust open that Chinese food. Kind of miss those days. But those days will never come back, because as a grown man, you don't get snow days. That's why I would like to live in the country. You know, with financial freedom, you basically could relive snow days. You know, wake up, make a huge breakfast, go outside, shovel, or use a four-wheeler, you know, to like move the snow around, come back in, and it'll be just as fun. Teriyaki chicken. This has always been amazing. Always loved this teriyaki, because for me it was the most like guilt-free delicious food, because it's not fried, you don't have like big old pieces of fat on it. It always felt like I'm eating pure protein, you know. Obviously that's not the case, but all in all, it's mostly protein and very rich and delicious sweet teriyaki flavor. Love that. Wow, I think the teriyaki is actually the most delicious out of all these. All right, we're gonna keep going. So right now, we're gonna bust open this soup. Chinese soup is always good too. So the ones that we ate in my house were the chicken noodle. You know, their own obviously chicken noodle. It's nothing like Italian or American style or European style. It's has like a little greasy flavor to it, but it's very delicious, like the scallions in it. So that was good. And of course, egg drop soup, nothing like it. Really Asian. Oh yeah, so good. And then of course, you throw these in there. That's how my younger brother used to eat it all the time with these. He'd let it soak in there. I never liked them soaked. I liked them somewhat crunchy. Well, look at that. I just realized I don't even have a spoon out here. So they did forget the spoon, but it's okay. This is totally drinkable. That's good. And then some people put soy sauce in there. We're gonna do that too. So delicious, because it's salty and sweet from the yolk. I mean, egg drop soup is an absolute classic. It's funny, my dad would try to recreate Chinese food in the house every once in a while. He's always so proud of it too, like, oh, look at this, I made egg drop soup. He'll beat an egg and, no way, buddy, sorry. Can't even compare. Or what else? He'll make like the Chinese fried rice. No way. Sorry. Not even close. Little bring up, the salt flavor. Let's see what that's about. Oh yeah, that's more intense. I probably should stir that up a little more. But let's get into these. Oh yeah, wontons. This soup is so delicious. Really is. Look at that. These wontons though, they look like dumplings. You see? I remember in New York, the wontons were like, you could see they were like wrapped loosely. Like these look like they could have came in a frozen bag or something. See how they're all like shrink wrapped in a way? Whereas the New York ones, they were like more, had a flatter surface. So it looked like a pastry wrapped. But taste all in all the same. I'm really being nitpicky. All in all, this is delicious. Wow, perfect. So yeah, Chinese food brings back a lot of memories. I don't eat it often, like I said, not anymore, because there's so much delicious food out there, and I like to switch it up and try new things, but every once in a while I yearn for that nostalgia, All right, so here we go. Check this out. Let's see what that's all about. Sometimes I cheat with the chopsticks and just try to stab the meat. Oh yeah. Absolutely delicious. Same thing with the white rice. You ever try making it at home? It doesn't taste as good as when you buy it from a Chinese restaurant. It's so soft and delicate. I could never get my rice, exact to this texture and flavor. Yeah, absolutely perfect. Delicious. I remember one of my buddies, after high school, he moved down to Florida. And when he would come up to visit me, when I'd take him out, no, actually, in this particular time, shout out to my buddy Mike, rest in peace, Aces, I love you, man. Anyway, my buddy took me out to eat after I had him move back to New York and stay with me for a little bit. So he took me out to eat to thank me, and we went to this place called New Apollo. It's a classic, super famous spot in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. In the section they call the other side of Williamsburg. And so anyway, it's a hood gem. It's like a hood, very famous Chinese restaurant where like it's known for having amazing Chinese food and selling mixed drinks in their soup cup. So you could actually go buy an Incredible Hulk, for instance, which is like Hennessy mixed with Hypnotic on ice, and they'll put it in a soup cup and sell it to you to go. So it's packed on weekends with people just going in to buy their all different types of mixed drinks. You name it, all the funky names like Incredible Hulk and like Spider-Man, Sex on the Beach, and all those trendy names you could buy, and it's actually a decent price, and all you need is one, because they do pour it with Hennessy right in front of you, so you know what you're getting. So anyway, I remember when he ordered General Tso's chicken, and I forgot what I ordered, but basically as soon as his mouth touched it, he said, "Holy moly!" He's like, "That's the best General Tso's I ever had in my life." Mind you, he just came, up from Florida, so he hadn't had Chinese food for at least like 5 years. But this is right up there. So this is definitely filling my my Chinese food fix. I know I won't be eating Chinese food for at least 6 months after this. That good old Snapple. Peach Snapple is like, I think, the most popular one in my opinion. Even that white rice is so good. Absolutely love it. I'm gonna have another one of these shrimp toasts. That's what they're called. Literally, this is the first time I'm ever eating that, and it's absolutely delicious. Now, would I say this is New York style? I mean, I don't see nothing about it that would make me feel otherwise. It tastes just like the Chinese food in New York. It's weird. I wonder what's supposed to make it New York Chinese food. It's weird how the world looks at New York like it's this special place in the world. Like, you will literally go to Europe and it'll be like New York City pizza, Brooklyn pizza. Like, why? You know? It's crazy. Now we have New York style Chinese food. It's crazy. I think it's popularized by TV so much that people have this idea of New York being something. I mean, even me, like when people have a conversation, where are you from? I'll say New York. You see their like eyes light up a little bit, like their face changes almost, like they're impressed. Like, I didn't choose to be born there. I was just born there and raised there. What, am I different? But in people's minds, apparently I am. Which to me, it's a little weird. You know, and that's why there's a running joke when people are from like the outskirts of New York City, someplace that's nothing like the New York that you think in your mind when you think of New York City. Literally like raccoons that dig in their garbage and they wait for a bus to pick them up from school. That's nothing like New York City. New York City, you're either taken to school by your parents or you're taking the subway or the bus. No yellow bus really picks you up. There are some cases, obviously, but all in all, not in New York City. But yeah, so people from like the outskirts, like literally in the woods, they're like, I'm from New York. You know, just to kind of jump on that bandwagon of coolness. Or like deep somewhere in Long Island. You know, oh, I'm from New York. No, you're from Long Island, actually. Technically, yeah, you are from New York, but let's be real. That's not what you're trying to sell. So, that's always been a thought of mine. I'm definitely one of those people that live in Florida now and love it here. Would I go back to New York? Absolutely not. You know, would I go and visit for a week? Yeah, sure. And that about it. I guess since I've been there my entire life, what happened is kind of like over it. Like after a while, you just want to experience life almost with like another set of eyes because you're surrounded by people who experience life differently. So it's like you're learning new things all over again. It's like watching a new movie. Like perhaps So I always compare it to like New York's growing up in Brooklyn, New York. Life was like action movie, you know. There's always something going on. There's always New York is slightly aggressive, you know. There's a lot of action. And now in Florida, it's like watching like a lighthearted comedy, you know. Like by lighthearted, it's just like it's always sunny here, and so you feel like your mood is more uplifted, so you feel lighter. And then also as far as comedy, it's like less stress, and I feel like people are way more polite, and there's not as much, you know, kind of like dog eat dog mentality. There might be, I mean, but it's not as much as New York. New York is more like the rat race, you know. People got somewhere to go, and they could only come off rude just because they have their own agenda. They're not technically rude. But it's nice to experience life in an area where it's completely different. So would I go back to live in New York? Absolutely not. This food is absolutely amazing. The food is phenomenal though in New York, I gotta say. So, and food is my thing, but you could find good food anywhere. Is there better, more options there? Yes, of course. But that's not everything. Alright guys. These fortune cookies definitely have changed. Look, they even have like the little scan bar. So modern. See what these things taste like. You have the ingredients on it too. Holy moly. That was never the case. That's new. It tastes nice and fresh. Alright, ready? It is now and in this world that we must live. Oh yeah, typical fortune. Bunch of words. It is now and in this world that we must live. I guess live for the now. That's all that means. I definitely am living now. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like it, please share it. And please hit the thumbs up button. Thanks for subscribing. Until next time, cheers.